Hello from the Bayer Water Utilization Learning Center. My name is Alex Rosa, Learning Center agronomist focused on sustainability, and I have here today.
Hi, I'm Tyler Vrugdenhill. I'm a technical agronomist for Bayer Crop Science.
And we are standing in this field looking at how the use of cover crops can impact the early stages of corn here in the Learning Center with this trial where we are looking at different terminations of cover crops. So we have scenarios where we didn't use a cover crop. We have also 14 days termination of cereal rye before we planted corn, 7 days, and also a couple of days after we planted corn is when we terminated that cereal rye. And we also are looking at with and without starter, Tyler. So based on those considerations or this study that we have here, what have you seen around the Central Plains in your area regarding the management of cover crops into corn crop?
Yeah, cover crops have become in recent years a really useful tool when it comes to obviously reducing soil erosion and making sure we have adequate cover, not only from a soil erosion standpoint, but also weed suppression in that aspect. Some really key things to consider and why this is such an important study. We can get a really good idea on a smaller scale what those days of termination, if you're a grower that wants to terminate prior or just after planting, what that can look like. In future years, I'm guessing we're going to have some roller crimper studies where we're going to be able to look at what a roller crimper could potentially do. So actually, when I think about utilizing a cover crop, product selection is such an important piece of this, and knowing what that corn product likes to be planted into. Another consideration is thinking about, and especially you can see it here at the Learning Center, corn plants that are still competing with the old rye stand for light absorption. So you might have a typical V3 corn plant that maybe is 3 to 4 inches high, maybe gets a foot high trying to reach for that sunlight. So those are all important considerations to think about. Great tool for managing soil water usage and evapotranspiration, but also a great utilization for being able to keep the soil where we need it to be for that corn plant throughout the growing season.
Now, Tyler, I would also add the weed management tool that cover crops can help, especially if that residue that you just mentioned and the shading in the ground. So we've been seeing some a good help of cover crops, especially when you want to use that tool in your herbicide programs early in the season. And we are also seeing some benefit of putting a starter fertilizer on corn, especially if you have terminated that rye 7 days or at planting, which can lead to some nitrogen immobilization especially.
It's a great point, Alex, and I think obviously we've seen the payoff. I feel like we've seen the payoff of starter fertilizer over the past few years and what that contributes in getting a stand, not only getting the corn emerged, but also an even effective stand for the rest of the growing season. But it is another management factor we've got to think about, utilizing that cover crop and making sure that corn is off to a good start early in the growing season.
Awesome. There is a lot of good information here that we are bringing to our customers and to everyone that is interested in this topic. So I invite you all to come to the Learning Center, visit us this summer. We have a lot of trials showing the importance and how the cover crops can help on the management of your corn and soybeans that we can come up with a future video about. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, shoot us a message, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the Gothenburg Water Utilization Learning Center. For more information, please call 308-537-4500.